All right, so as you guys know, Michigan went out west this past weekend and lost to USC 31-13. Not the biggest deal in the world considering you have a true freshman quarterback and your head coach is still pretty green. A lot of us felt like this was going to be a ramp-up year where the goal was to be trending in the right direction for Bryce Underwood's sophomore and junior seasons anyways. I think the issue a lot of Michigan and college football fans had was the way it looked optically. Michigan fans' biggest claim on social media is that they love calling all other fan bases, coaches, and players soft, and rightfully so. They typically are the toughest team on the field most days. But when USC goes out there and splits the Wolverines' cheeks at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball and dominates Michigan, the way they tend to dominate their opponents, people definitely took notice. USC rushed for 224 yards while Michigan only had 109. To be fair though, Michigan was down in the game, so they had to pass the ball more while USC was focused on burning the clock. And it's certainly worth noting that they lost, in my humble opinion, the best running back in the country, Justice Haynes, who got hurt in the first half. Nonetheless, Michigan fans were less than pleased with the way their team looked. Even in their down years, they've always had the more physical team and took pride in winning the line of scrimmage. So naturally, fans were pretty pissed when they saw Lincoln Riley and the Trojans beat them at their own game. And a lot of that falls on Sherrone Moore, whose background is as an offensive line coach. He caught a lot of heat after the game, with fans beginning to question if he is, in fact, the right man for the job. It seems as though Coach Moore heard the criticisms and wanted to find a way to motivate his team while making a statement to the fan base that them getting dominated up front is unacceptable and won't be happening again. And he clearly wanted to make that statement public to everyone at his Monday press conference. Take a look.
I think the message is pretty simple. Like, the guys understand what happened. They understand it's a loss, and nobody's hurt more for a loss than the players and us, as coaches. So those guys they've been in here, they've been grinding, trying to get better. They're trying to fix all the problems and make sure it doesn't happen again. So the message really is simple. We got to go back to work. That's the reason I got the blue collar jacket on today. We got to go back to work right now. There's no pouting. There's no worrying about it. There's no making excuses for it. That's all we got to do, and that's all I know, and that's what we're going to do right now.
It's not so much that it's the wrong or a bad message to send your players. In fact, I think most people would probably agree it's a great message to send the team. But it is odd for you to go out of your way to get a mechanic's Carhartt jacket customized for yourself with your name on the front to send that message. I've also never heard of a blue-collar worker referring to their clothes as, "I'm putting on my blue-collar jacket." Hey, has anyone seen my blue-collar pants? That jacket looks pristine. Like he just took it out of the USPS box just minutes before walking into that press conference. He could have at least slapped it on the ground a couple of times or maybe drug it through some dirt. Give the jacket a couple of character marks, I'm not even convinced he wore that jacket to practice. It looks that brand new. And even if he did, I don't see a ton of scenarios where a bunch of teenagers look at it and get this untapped internal fire they never knew existed inside of them. I'd have to imagine most of the kids looked at it and gave their friends either a chuckle or that Jim Halpert look. I'm not even so sure a lot of 18 to 22-year-olds really understand the message or understand the significance of adopting a blue-collar mindset. Especially considering a lot of these guys didn't have jobs in high school. They focused primarily on sports. And then they got their diploma and walked straight into seeing a six-figure salary through NIL. Coach Moore would have had to walk in with that jacket on and then go on and explain the hardships that blue-collar workers face and what it means to be a blue-collar worker. He had to talk about waking up early, making sure your home is intact. Are the kids up? Did they get breakfast? Are they ready and on time for school? Does Bobby have his away jersey for his soccer game after school today? Then you have to get yourself to work on time. Work your tail off, 8 to 10 hours of manual labor with a 30-minute lunch break. Make it to Bobby's soccer game after work when you know they're about to lose. Again. All while biting your tongue about how much you hate watching junior high boys soccer. Make sure the kids get home, eat, and do their schoolwork. Rinse, wash, repeat. Doing your family and occupational duties every single day, no questions asked, because you have to. Oh, and by the way, you aren't making half of what wide receiver 6 is making via the NIL. You get my point. I'm boring you and myself reading all this off. But if that's our reaction, how do we think the team took it? I just think it's a difficult message to get through to people who haven't been in that position yet, or don't have the life experience to understand the depth of it. But what do I know? Maybe he tied it back to showcasing how hard their parents worked as they were growing up. I guess that could have been an effective angle. It seems as though the act didn't land with any college football fans, but more importantly, any Michigan fans, who have seemed to shift their energy on social media this week. The college football Twitter world has been a field day this week. obviously poking fun at the gesture, a lot of which were Ohio State and Michigan State fans, as you'd assume. I was surprised at how positively the Michigan fans were reacting to these, laughing along and complimenting whoever made the edits. There's also been a growing mindset of Michigan fans that he may not be the right man for the job. Admittedly, it feels a little bit early to start talking about his replacement, but at the same time, it's a new era of college football. I have no idea if his message will be well received by the team. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Obviously, Michigan fans are in the mindset of you're going to have to show me, and no one expects fans of other teams to applaud this gesture. It does feel as though in the midst of James Franklin being fired and Curt Cignetti setting the college football world on fire, fans have increased their expectations of their coaches and teams. Michigan has Washington coming to town this week for the big noon game. It does have a feel to it. Michigan's season is teetering on this game. A hot pick at the moment is kicking Michigan while they're down following the USC game, claiming that the Huskies are going to walk in and beat them in similar fashion as the Trojans did. But for whatever it's worth, Vegas disagrees with them. I was pretty surprised when I logged on to my betting app today and saw that Michigan is a 6-point favorite. Washington is a dangerous team, and I think they're more than capable of winning this game, especially if Justice Haynes doesn't suit up, which he's listed as questionable at the time of recording. If they pull off the upset, the noise is only going to get louder and louder surrounding Coach Moore, which may start to feel less like noise and more like tidal waves hitting him. Michigan finds themselves in an interesting spot. However, considering if they win this game and tone down the outside noise, at least for another week, I think they have a real chance to run the table until Ohio State comes to Ann Arbor in late November. And for all the recent criticisms, Sherrone Moore is 2-0 against the Buckeyes, and no question has a better team this year playing them at home compared to last season when they went to Columbus. The door certainly isn't closed on them making the playoff, but I do think they have to win out. For all the jokes, maybe he got through to his guys, and this weird stunt with the auto shop jacket could be the catalyst for a season turnaround for the Wolverines. We'll certainly find out this Saturday. Let me know your thoughts about Coach Moore walking out with the customized blue-collar jacket. You think Michigan responds this week against Washington? I'm new to the world of making YouTube videos, and I plan on making more content focused specifically on college football. If my work schedule allows, I'm hoping I can get a Week 8 preview uploaded in time. I also want to upload some of my gambling picks, predictions, and cover any and all interesting topics that don't get discussed on the national media platforms. Please let me know in the comments any other types of content or stories you want to see covered. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.